Here we go. Cold and flu immunity. Now, this one has an interesting effect. Certainly, if somebody feels like they're getting bunged up, they're feeling rough, they've got this fluey thing coming on, they're thinking, "Gee, this is going to mess with my meetings tomorrow." It certainly will support your recovery, but there is a natural cycle to the process, and you will be accelerated in and out of the cold and flu syndrome much faster and smoother. It won't hide the symptoms, it won't remove it. It allows the body to do its proper drainage and escalate the event rapidly through the body and over, fully cleansing and processing. That's a good way maybe of describing it from what I've seen with
Sure.
the usage.
Yeah, this the CFI is basically is ET6, and how all of the ETs are made, and ETs sometimes are difficult. Sometimes people think they're a difficult concept to understand, but it's not such a hard concept. I mean, if you imagine you've got a cell, a virus goes into a cell, starts replicating other viruses, and the virus spreads from cell to cell, and you end up with flu or whatever viral issue it is. What CFI or any of the ETs are doing is they're basically sending back in a new message into the cell that corrects the damage that the message of the original virus did. Because I mean, all of our, if you like, all the virus is doing is going in and detuning your cell and getting it to do something else, and you end up feeling like half dead, which is not what any of us want. So instead, what we're doing is we're basically sending in the information to correct the damage, if you like, that's just been done in the cell, so that the cell ends up working how it used to be, or as though it didn't have that particular virus, and the virus gets destroyed, and off you go. And the ETs are really interesting. Obviously, if you have a cold and you take an ET, it should resolve pretty fast, like within 1 to 2, maximum 3 days. And if you don't have a cold, let's say a particular client has what me and Peter would call ET soup, and showing like ET3, 5, 7, 9, or a whole load of ETs that like it looks like their terrain or their body is just full of viruses, and hence we call it ET soup. The way that you can tell if an ET is working, I mean, it corrects a lot of stuff very quickly, and generally, if you give an ET and they get this sort of flu-like reaction, but it only lasts for 3 days, that's brilliant, and it gets corrected. Versus if you got a flu, and a flu normally lasts 7 to 10 days, and you're out for ages. Like that's if you got flu. But if you give someone an ET and they get this reaction for 2-3 days, and they might ring up and say, "Oh, I'm feeling dreadful," don't worry. That's the ET doing its job, and it does clear after 3 days. And if they're really worried, you can give them a load of ESR, and it'll smooth out that distortion. But generally, I'd recommend just seeing your way through that, because I mean, ultimately you want to correct the detuning that virus has done. And obviously I'm going way beyond CFI, but that's okay.